Friends, today I'll be reading another selection from Bread and Wine. This is a selection from a novel written by Wendell Berry. And the speaker of this portion is the character named Jayber Crow, if I'm saying that right. And the book calls this selection Still Bleeding. For a while again, I couldn't pray. I didn't dare to. In the most secret place of my soul, I wanted to beg the Lord to reveal himself in power. I wanted to tell him that it was time for his coming. If there was anything at all to what he had promised, why didn't he come in glory with angels and lay hands on the hurt children and awaken the dead soldiers and restore the burned villages and the blasted and poisoned land? Why didn't he cow to our arrogance? But thinking such things was as dangerous as praying them. I knew who had thought such thoughts before. Let Christ, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. Where in my arrogance was I going to hide? Where did I get my knack for being a fool? If I could advise God, why didn't I just advise him, like our great preachers and politicians, to be on our side and give us victory? I had to turn around and wade out of the mire of myself. Christ did not descend from the cross except into the grave. But why not otherwise? Wouldn't it have put fine comical expressions on the faces of the scribes and the chief priests and the soldiers if at that moment he had come down in power and glory? Why didn't he do it? Why hasn't he done it at any one of 1,000 good times between then and now? I knew the answer. I knew it a long time before I could admit it. For all the suffering of the world is in it. He didn't, he hasn't, because from the moment he did, he would be the absolute tyrant of the world, and we would be his slaves. Even those who hated him and hated one another and hated their own souls would have to believe in him then. And from that moment, the possibility that we might be bound to him and he to us and us to one another by love forever would be ended. And so I thought, he must forbear to reveal his power and glory by presenting himself as himself, and must be present only in the ordinary miracle of the existence of his creatures. Those who wish to see him must see him in the poor, in the hungry, in the hurt, the wordless creatures, the groaning and travailing, beautiful world. I would be horrified in every moment that I was alone, because I could see no escape. Because truly, we are too tightly tangled together to be able to separate ourselves from one another, or from evil or from good. We are all involved in any and all evil, in any and all good. So for every sin, we all suffer. That is why our suffering is endless. It is why God grieves and Christ's wounds are still bleeding. Even while we celebrate this Eastertide, I think it's important that we see the trajectory of where Easter comes from and where it goes. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week.